What does human trafficking look like? And so that is the title for this episode. What does human trafficking look like? And how is there so much human trafficking, yet it looks like a normal everyday scene? So I want to talk about the activities, the criminal activities that human traffickers thrive. Well, the thing is, they have a certain environment that they thrive in, and part of that, a big component of that is secrecy. So, a lot of everyday activities that look normal to the untrained eye will look normal, but the trained eye will see that there is something going on behind normal routines or certain actions. So I want to go a little bit deeper into that. And then I want to talk about the Anna Louise end. So, human trafficking happens at commercial buildings and it also happens at residential buildings. So, I want to talk about Cincinnati in particular and their prostitution ring. Okay. So, like I said, several episodes back, they have the black market online component of their prostitution ring. Okay, so the hidden cameras, they're installed in my apartment at the Anna Louise. Okay, but that's only one aspect of it. Then this cartel starts paying your manager, your property manager. So the cartel in Cincinnati made deals with my property manager, Gordon and Beth, to be able to run this criminal enterprise through their building. Okay, like I said, a prostitution pen like setting. So I want to go over some of the characteristics of a human trafficker and also their activities in residential buildings that look like normal everyday activities, but they're not. Number one, and this sounds crazy and far fetched, but this is how heinous and horrific these crimes are. So, most of the time, this cartel will make a deal with the maintenance man. Okay, like they made a deal with Evan at the Anna Louise. Maintenance men have a lot of entry access. They have a lot of access to a lot of things. Okay, and they definitely have access to apartments. So a lot of cartels like to really make those deals, with maintenance men and property owners off rip. Okay, and so then the maintenance man puts the cameras in your home. They set the cameras up in the female victim's home in a way where you cannot go unseen, in your closet, in your bathrooms. I mean, it's really that bad because they want to make it to where you can't go anywhere in your apartment without selling yourself. If you take off your clothes, if you take a shower, if you're having sexual relationships, they want to make it to where you can't be in your house in privacy. Not only that, but they have it linked to some type of room. So there's a room where they sell this video images. They also have a secret chat room that the human traffickers they communicate through. And so these human traffickers have your phone tapped. They have any device because they want to be able to listen to anything that you say. And they have your phone hooked up to where every human trafficker can see it. So whatever private notes, whatever you type, whatever you call, whoever you call, they have it to where all your neighbors that are participating can see all your information, your social security cards. They have you open like that, and they have me open like that at the Anna Louise Inn. So all my neighbors can see all my private areas. They can see me naked when I take a shower. This is the way this cartel has it set up. The maintenance man has video images of me. He has access, this video link to my apartment. Beth and Gordon have access to this video link to my apartment. So so that's one of the first things right there. And with that hidden camera footage, and not hidden camera footage, but with that hidden surveillance, they do a abusive noise. But it's not, it's a very distinctive vibrational. So they're using some type of devices and tools, and it radiates through the apartment. The reason why a human trafficker does that is to cause severe mental illness over a duration of period on female targets, and to cause fear in female targets. Now, are they doing that with me? No, sorry, Bob. The human trafficking cartel, neither is Anna Louise causing any fear in me, and they're not causing me to go mentally ill. But what I am saying is the average person, and rightfully, justifiably so, would definitely go severely mentally ill over a certain span of time of being exposed to such extreme abuse. I mean, we're talking about, especially women who have never prostituted, have never been a stripper, have never had a background in these types of scenarios, and they're forcing women and children into this type of lifestyle right here in Cincinnati, Ohio, through several residential and commercial buildings, and definitely at the Anna Louise. Now, there's no children. Thank heavens, there's no children allowed to be, a tenant here, visitors. But I'm glad I don't. I'm glad that there's no children visiting me right now. I mean, they'd be exploited pretty much right at the Anna Louise Inn. So you have the noise component, and they do it by, and I know this sounds crazy, but they pay people to watch you when you're home. So not just every few minutes, but every second. Okay. And I believe they pay people in shifts to do it. But they have the target, not just me, but whoever they prostitute, human traffic, they have them watched every second. And every time you turn your head, every time you walk, they'll make noises. And they train the human trafficker how to follow your pattern from like the person that stays above me. The tenant that stays above me, when I go to the sink, she goes to the bathroom sink. She starts stomping, she starts flushing toilets, she starts running pipes, and it seems normal, but the routine of it will let you know that it's human trafficking. So every time I go to the bathroom, they're trying to train me to be abused to certain noises. There's certain dinging out with the elevators. Then next thing you know, there's carts rolling through the hall. So every time I go near my door, they're watching me on camera. So they're watching me on camera go near my door in the kitchen. And next thing you know, there's women loudly talking. So every time I go to my kitchen, these women appear out in the hallway, and it looks normal. It looks normal. It looks like, well, people can be out in the hallway, Bianca. I mean, people travel all the time, in the hall. No, but there's a certain pattern, okay, that you'll pick up on. And you would have to see with the hidden surveillance how they do it. Okay, so every time I go near my door, there's loudness, there's slamming of the doors. They're doing that a lot at Anna Louise Inn. There's a lot of door slamming, and they do this to intimidate the target from going outside. Now, are they doing that with me? No, sorry, Bob, because they can slam doors, they can bump but I'm going to go about my way. Okay, and I'm not afraid of anyone but God. But my point is the average target, though, is going to be afraid of something like that. Okay, so they're slamming doors. So something that looks sort of semi-normal, because slamming doors repeatedly does not look normal at all in any apartment complex. But these females are paid, especially the female to the left of me on my floor. She's paid to constantly slam her door, slam her door, slam her door. And then the female above me is paid to stump and bump and do all these weird, it sounds like she's dropping something made of some type of chrome or something, because then there's distinct light deep taps as well. So all these tools that these human traffickers have, these predators, because anybody with the wrong mindset can turn into a human trafficker. As we can see even at the Anna Louise Inn. I'm not sure if Beth and Gordon were always human trafficking, but they're definitely human trafficking now. So that lets you know that if your mind is not in the right place in life, especially as a professional, you don't even have to be a professional. If your mind isn't in the right place, you can be sucked into human trafficking, and whether you want to admit it or not, and be a human trafficker, because these are the actions and these are the activities of human trafficking, and these are the same activities that are currently going on at the Anna Louise Inn. And I want to make the public aware of this, and several other women and other children out there that may be going through the same thing with their property owners, that you're not alone, that you're not crazy, okay? And you have to remain calm. So I'm going to leave you a few tips on what to do when you have landlords and when you have neighbors playing games with your life, because that's exactly what it is. Because they're doing it with the intention to cause mental distress, and exploiting, but also to frame the target for an arrest or a way that they can traffic the female and child off to another territory. I mean, this sounds crazy, but this is exactly what's going on in Cincinnati, right underneath the noses of us civilians, right here in Cincinnati, with our mayor Aftab Peruval and his illegal international connections, definitely with several other politicians, to sex traffickers internationally. Okay, so they're bringing this domestically. But like I said, I'll leave a few tips though. Remain calm, keep your boundaries, always look at your surroundings. Human traffickers like to do sneak attacks, okay? Especially when they start paying your neighbors. They'll pay them to try to shove or to try to barricade. You've got to be smart and you've got to be quick. Stay even tone and non-responsive, but also be willing to protect yourself physically if need be, because these human traffickers are very violent. They're paid to be violent. Just hidden cameras being in your home against your will itself is extreme violence. So when you're dealing with these type of individuals, even people, like I said, that are your neighbors, these Cincinnati cops, a couple of these judges and lawyers, they're violent. To even run an operation such as this is extreme violence within itself. So like I said, stay calm, be aware of your surroundings. And like I said, if you know people around you that are causing trouble, just take note. And it's hard to call the police, but call who you can. Never stop calling. And if the police start sending mental health experts to your house, stop calling the police, because that's a dead giveaway that they're a part of the human trafficking. Well, that's pretty much it for this episode. That pretty much concludes it. It's been a pleasure talking to you all. I will definitely make future episodes in the future. Take care, peace, and God bless.